Hi everyone, and welcome to today's Dutch language lesson. In this video, we are going to talk about one of the most important and commonly used verbs in the Dutch language, hebben. We will cover everything you need to know about this verb, including its meaning, conjugation, and usage in different tenses. So let's get started. Let's talk about the meaning of the verb hebben. In English, hebben is equivalent to the verb to have. It is a transitive verb meaning that it takes an object in the sentence. For example, ik heb een kat means I have a cat, where kat is the object of the sentence. Now, let's move on to the conjugation of the verb hebben. Like many verbs in Dutch, hebben is an irregular verb, which means that its conjugation doesn't follow a predictable pattern. Here's how it conjugates in the present tense. Ik heb, jij hebt, hij, zij, het, heeft, wij hebben, jullie hebben, zij hebben. Now that we know how to conjugate hebben in the present tense, let's look at some examples of how it can be used in a sentence. Ik heb een auto. Jij hebt een nieuwe telefoon. Hij heeft honger. Wij hebben 2 kinderen. Jullie hebben een mooie tuin. Zij hebben veel ervaring. Now, let's talk about the different tenses that hebben can be used in. We will start with the present tense, which we just covered. The present tense is used to describe actions or states that are currently happening or are generally true. For example, ik heb dorst means I am thirsty, and jij hebt gelijk means you are right. Next up is the past tense. This tense is used to describe actions that happened in the past, but don't necessarily have a specific time frame. This is how it conjugates in the past tense. Ik had. Jij had. Hij, zij, het had. Wij hadden. Jullie hadden. Zij hadden. For example, ik had honger means I was hungry. Zij hadden veel plezier means they had a lot of fun. Moving on to the perfect tense, which is used to talk about actions that were completed in the past but have relevance to the present. Let's look at the conjugation of its perfect tense. Ik heb gehad. Jij hebt gehad. Hij, zij, het heeft gehad. Wij hebben gehad. Jullie hebben gehad. Zij hebben gehad. This tense is formed by using the past participle of hebben with the auxiliary verb hebben. For example, ik heb een rode auto gehad. The past perfect is used to describe an action that happened before another past action. Let's look at the conjugation. Ik had gehad. Jij had gehad. Hij, zij, het had gehad. Wij hadden gehad. Jullie hadden gehad. Zij hadden gehad. For instance, toen ik thuis kwam, had mijn moeder al gekookt. Means, when I came home, my mother had already cooked. Moving on to the future tense, which is used to talk about actions that will happen in the future. Let's look at the conjugation. Ik zal hebben. Jij zult hebben. Hij, zij, het, zal hebben. Wij zullen hebben. Jullie zullen hebben. Zij zullen hebben. For example, ik zal een nieuwe baan hebben. Means I will have a new job. In Dutch, the future tense is formed by using the auxiliary verb zullen or gaan with the infinitive form of the verb hebben. Next up, the conditional tense, which is used to talk about hypothetical situations or events that may or may not happen in the future. Let's look at the conjugation. Ik zou hebben. Jij zou hebben. Hij, zij, het zou hebben. Wij zouden hebben. Jullie zouden hebben. Zij zouden hebben. For example, als ik geld had, zou ik een nieuwe auto hebben. In Dutch, the conditional tense is formed by using the auxiliary verb zouden with the infinitive form of the verb. Last but not least, let's talk about the imperative tense, which is used to give commands or make requests. For example, heb geduld means have patience. Now that we have covered all the tenses, let's review what we've learned about the verb hebben. Hebben is a transitive verb, meaning that it takes an object in the sentence. It is an irregular verb and its present tense conjugation is ik heb, jij hebt, hij, zij, het, heeft, wij hebben, jullie hebben, zij hebben. Hebben can be used in different tenses, including the present, past perfect, future, conditional, and imperative tenses. Now it's time for a simple fill-in-the-blanks exercise. Here is a short paragraph with blank spaces where you need to write the correct form of the verb hebben. So pause the video and try to do the exercise, and we will do the exercise together after a short break. Great! Now let's do this exercise together. Familie Jansen gaat op vakantie. Zij hebben een nieuwe camper gekocht voor hun reis. De camper heeft alles wat ze nodig hebben. Een comfortabel bed, een keukentje en zelfs een kleine badkamer. Zij hebben veel zin om nieuwe plekken te ontdekken. Mama Jansen heeft de broodjes al klaargemaakt voor de reis. Now that you know all about the verb hebben, it's time to practice using it in your own sentences. Keep practicing and soon you will be using this essential Dutch verb like a native. Thanks for joining us today and we will see you in the next lesson. Tot de volgende keer!